Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mindy and today's video, the first of 2021, is INTJs, why are you single? But before I start, I want to wish you all a very happy new year 2021. I wish you all the best. Stay tuned because this 2021 is going to be filled with lots of videos for self-development and of course for INTJs. I also want to remind you that I offer one-on-one sessions. As a coach, I can help you to sort through your personal or professional situations by using cognitive function development and Myers-Briggs. So you're having me someone who understands the way you think, how you process information. Also remember that you can treat me to coffees. And please like and subscribe. All right, INTJs, why are you single? So I know INTJs, you are super independent. You love your me time and you have lots of things that you want to do with your time, and that's undeniable. But also there is this longing inside of you that you want to have a partner, someone with whom you can share your life, someone who can help you grow and with whom you can share the adventures of your life, or who can actually maybe bring in more adventure into your life. Still, you might be holding some beliefs, doing some things, behaving in certain ways that might be sabotaging your desire for a deep connection and for a relationship. Therefore, so that's why I came up with this video and some few points I have written about why you are single. This is for single INTJs, of course. So number one part of your problem is that you have many goals. That's not a problem, but you have many goals. You're very goal-oriented, right? But you have a belief, perhaps, that a partner will not allow you to focus because balancing the two of them seem impossible. And you feel like if you have an ambition or a goal, you want to give it all. And a partner doesn't seem to fit in, you know, like it's like, and also practically speaking, not only the belief, but because you're so focused and focus on what you're doing and the work you're doing and the projects you're having, the studies you're doing, it's great, but you might not be holding space for another person. That can be happening. But anyhow, that belief can also be holding you back from actually taking actions because even though you say you want it, still you feel like your mind is one like single focus, then you still want to just do one thing and excel at doing your studies, at doing your career, but you're not leaving a space even in your mind for that new person to come into your life. But I have to say, I do not believe that that's true. That is just, I consider a way of sabotaging your possible relationships. Because maybe this is a belief that also has to do with that the partner will take up your time and that they will hold you from reaching your goals, perhaps. Maybe it's not that you think that they're going to be mean or evil, but by having them, you're not going to have enough time, you know? But maybe that's just because you don't have, or you're not considering that there is people out there who will provide for motivation and inspiration that can in turn make your projects, your work, your studies more enjoyable, and that they can put in an element of excitement into your life. They can bring in motivation. So instead of seeing a partner as something that's gonna take up some chunk of time, you can see it as someone, depending on who you find or what type of partner you are going to look for, you can find in them someone who is going to make you actually more successful, more driven, because that element that is not in your life right now would inject that extra, as I said, element that is not there. So someone who is gonna maybe push you out of your comfort zone, someone who's gonna be has moments of, I don't know, like joy and fun around you. And in turn, when you're sitting down and doing the work that you're doing or study that you're doing, you're gonna feel like, wow, you have more energy that otherwise it wasn't there, you know? So there are ways. Number 2, you treat the idea of a partner as a project, just like you treat the work you do or your study or anything else that you're doing, your volunteer work or whatever. And you will feel awful if you wouldn't be able to dedicate to them all of the time that you can dedicate to your work or your study. So that's another idea that's holding you from even meeting someone new, whatever that means for you. You know, maybe some colleague told you that there is, he has a friend or a cousin that would like to introduce to you, but you are like, oh yeah, maybe not. You're not going for it because you think like, I don't have the time and I'm focused on this project I'm working right now. So later on, when I have the time, I want to dedicate that to that partner. But I don't think life works that way, honestly. And I think it's more about learning to balance things at the same time, because there's not going to be a time, honestly, when you're not studying or pursuing something that you want, because that's how your mind, INTJ, works. So if you keep treating the idea of a partner as a project, it might be very, very hard to even get it from that faraway point and bring it to you and one day say, I'm going to do it now, because it's always going to feel like you don't have enough time, that there is limited resources and you cannot give it to them as you would like to, you know? So yeah, the solution for this one is to accept that you are not gonna maybe be able to stop doing everything you're doing and giving the full attention to the project of having a relationship, but it's more about opening yourself to the possibility that maybe you can do both. And maybe it's not your nature to put your focus in different things, but it's not different things. Let's say it's 2 things: your pursuit in your career, studies, whatever you're doing, and interacting with a person, getting to know someone. And I think what's something that you're missing here is understanding, again, point 1, that this person doesn't need to be a burden and doesn't, you know, like when you meet someone that you really like and that person brings something positive into your life, it's gonna feel like a good addition into your life. It's not gonna feel like a burden. And maybe that's what you're afraid of. Number 3, you focus on others' unhappiness due to the relationship. So even though you want a relationship, you might start seeing and looking all around your family, your friends. You look at people getting divorced, people breaking up, jealousy, or people cheating on one another, whatever that is, and you think, oh, that's too much of a problem. I'm better off alone, or a relationship is too much of a problem, and I'd rather be alone than having those issues in my life. But again, I mean, that's another way of self-sabotaging, because there is, at the same time, if you're watching this video, there is this feeling inside of you that you would like to have a partner. So there is this longing coming from somewhere inside of you that is asking you, that's introverted feeling. So listen to your deep voice. That is actually one of the main things that you need to learn as INTJs. Listen to your inner voice and to your own needs. Recognize that, and if that's there in you, stop telling yourself like, no, it's not gonna be too much of a burden and it's gonna be too much of a problem because people always end up in divorce, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, while you're believing that and telling that to yourself, there is this other voice inside of you telling you, I would like to have this connection with somebody. So, others people's unhappiness has nothing to do with you. It's their story. Your story is different. Try to pay attention to what you need, and remember the 2 steps I said before. Number 4, you keep planning in your head for the right strategy to get to know someone, the right time. You keep planning, and it's never happening. And maybe you're there planning in your head for 2-3 years, a year and a half, 4 years, 5 years, and you're always waiting for the best time, the best, let's say that, yes, I've been working too much. I'm not there in my life where I want to be when I meet that person. But remember, you are not there where you want to be, but maybe you can get there while you have the person. Maybe you can grow together while you're going towards your goal. And maybe that person also has their own goals, and who knows, maybe they these two goals meet one another and you get to do that together with somebody. Or maybe they're just doing their own thing, but at the same time you can see each other's progress and goal completion and motivations, and you can do that together with somebody. So you don't need to reach for that perfection, that perfect moment. I think it's like a big self-sabotaging thing when you keep on planning in your head and thinking that, yeah, well, I am going to, let's say, create a profile on a dating app or in a dating whatever thing you want to use, because I'm not telling you what platform or outlet you have to use in order to get to know somebody. Whatever you want. Some people want dating apps, some people want to just meet friends of friends, acquaintances, people from work. It's all up to you, and you do whatever you want. But my point here is stop with the mental planning and procrastinating it, because even though, don't get me wrong, you're good at planning and strategizing things, but you, most of the times and in most of the areas of your life, you INTJs can be great at planning, strategizing, and executing. But in other areas of your life, just like everybody else have just like less like lower points. Maybe your romantic relationship can be that for some of you. You plan and strategize, and you keep planning and you keep strategizing. For some INTJs, maybe it is a project. Let's say you want to launch some new website, whatever it is, and you keep procrastinating it and you keep procrastinating it, blah, blah, blah. Even though in the other areas of your life, you don't procrastinate at all. You know what I mean? So be careful that you could be doing this, and look now down if you're watching this video. For how long have you been telling yourself that you need to find the right moment, that you need to be coming to the right person, but it's always then when you reach the point, there's always something new that comes up and you keep delaying it. So that's a way that you're sabotaging yourself for the long term. You don't need to be perfect. And you don't need to do the right strategy. You need to, of course, do it accordingly to whatever is best for you and whatever you think is the best way. But again, my point here is listen to your introverted feeling, listen to your heart, listen to your need, and make peace with it and do something with it. Number 5, you think in terms of pros and cons without consulting with your heart. I think I kind of was talking about this, but let's go more in depth with this one. So something that's holding you from having a long-term relationship, or just not even to date and meet someone and stop being single as your heart feels. It's like when you meet someone, or not even before, you weigh things, pros and cons. So you stay all the time in that extroverted thinking, introverted intuition first, and then you go into thinking. So you play with the probabilities, and then you bring, after you think of the probabilities, you bring on these pros and cons, and you weigh them down with your just rational process. But you forget to listen to your introverted feeling. And as I said, so you are in the phase when you are thinking, or you're thinking mostly of, I want to date someone, and then you start weighing pros and cons, why you want, why you don't want, why it's a good idea, why it's a bad idea, why I should do it now, why I should do it next year. And then you go, with pros and cons, and you're totally forgetting of what your heart is telling you that you want. So this is another important point when you want to, start dating, because dating has nothing, well, it has to do with thinking, but it has a lot to do with feeling. And you want to access your introverted feelings. So there needs to be some development within yourself in order for you to stop wanting something or feeling that you want something but not really taking actions upon it. So I would have to say, if I can give you an advice, is stop being in your mind and start being more in your heart and being more consequent in regards to what you want and what you do. This is actually a good advice for you. Remember that you can have me as your coach. So for one-on-one sessions, check the information below. Buy me coffees, so show me that you like my content. And have a great year. See you next time. Bye.